On Friday, I gave a brief monologue on why I think the NSA has been treated as a story that has a lot of allegations but little facts to back it up. The treatment of Snowden as a hero disturbs me greatly when he has hurt our national security and has done things that we will be paying for years. And he's being called a patriot. I do not believe he's a patriot. I realize people can disagree. But Andrew C. McCarthy wrote about this today. He's of the National Review Online, but he's also the prosecutor of the Blind Sheik. In 1993, wrote the book Willful Blindness. He has 3 books now. He is as conservative as they come. And he makes the point that, guess what? This isn't the IRS scandal. This isn't Benghazi. This is not what we saw with James Rosen and targeting of journalists. No, it is not. And so if you conflate all of those with the NSA, what you're doing is a disservice not only to the NSA story, but to those stories as well, because they are different. They're different because what's been alleged, and from so many different, from the left, right, is simply not lining up with the record. And the accusations that somehow people don't support Andrew C. McCarthy doesn't support the Fourth Amendment? Are you serious? Michael Mukasey doesn't support the Fourth Amendment? Are you serious? But that's okay. I understand why passions are raised, because I feel the same way when there's corruption. Yes. But I think it's a dangerous area when you start conflating these things when they do not relate in the theme of violations, as we've seen with the IRS scandal, with Benghazi and lying, with Fast and Furious, through the administration's crossing the rule of law and not being honest with the American people when the administration has been investigated. You take the NSA program and you look, and they get a report, and I'm going to let this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to allow Mike Rogers to defend the program, but first and foremost, George W. Bush defended these programs. Roll it.
Were you made personally?
My job is to protect this country, Matt, and I'm going to, within the law. And it gets second-guessed all the time by people who don't live in the United States. But let me remind you, September the 11th for them was a bad day. For us, it was a change of attitude. The American people need to know we're using techniques within the law to protect them. You said to me, how can we be assured you're doing everything it takes to protect the American people? And I'm saying to you, we're listening to Al-Qaeda if they're calling in this country, and some people want to get rid of that program. We had walls that did not allow criminal investigators and intelligence forces to talk to each other. We've eliminated the laws. Let me finish. But one of the best source, according to those who are on the front lines of protecting the American people, is when we pick up somebody off of a battlefield, that we interrogate them within the law to get data. And I would strongly urge people to look at that speech I gave, because I declassified classified information to show how important the information we got from whom we think is the mastermind of the September the 11th attacks.
At some point, Mr. President, if techniques, these alternative
Matt,
techniques are used, I'm not going to ask you to specifically say about them, but if they are used, are you at all concerned that at some point, even if you get results, there's a blurring the lines of between ourselves and the people we're trying to protect us against?
Matt, I'm just telling you, what this government has done is to take steps necessary to protect you and your family. You asked me about your family, and you represent a lot of other people. Mm-hmm. And the best information we can get is from people we take off the battlefield, so we can act on it, so we can stop plots before they happen. And whatever we have done is legal.
Now, that also deals with enhanced interrogation tactics. Obviously, the president has gone away from those, President Obama. But it discusses the tactics and the ways that we get information, how important information is, and all within the rule of law. Now, here's what Andrew C. McCarthy says when he is asked to speak to conservative audiences about the surveillance program. He says, quote, "I make it a habit of asking, how many of you know that the NSA doesn't know who you are? That they only collect your phone number, not your name or address or anything that would actually identify it as your phone number. There is always genuine surprise, just as there is about the fact that phone calls are not being monitored, about the fact that data is only being collected, not analyzed, except for a fraction of phone numbers reasonably suspected of belonging to those with ties to terrorism, and so tiny that to call it infinitesimal seems an overstatement, about the fact that there is extensive, rigorous oversight of the NSA program by Congress and the FISA court.